Okay, Mishnah Gimel states, Matzah achar hagapa or achar hageder gozolos b'kusharim or b'shvilin shabasaros harizeh lo yiga behen. Okay, so you found some pigeons that were tied together. They're either behind some sort of a fence, one made of reeds or wood, or behind a hedge, or a pile of stones made into a fence, or you found them, in these footpaths in the field somewhere. So you should not touch them. You should just leave them there. Why? Why can't you take them? So you can't take them because the assumption is that somebody left them there on purpose, meaning they know where they left them. So the place itself isn't a siman. There's nothing about them that's a siman per se. Nothing that you would identify them, which would mean that somebody should just return them. You can't go out and announce them, say, we found such and such. The birds, just like any other birds that would be tied up, that anybody would have. So because of that, you can't claim them because, on the one hand, we still think that somebody may come back for them. But you also don't have to take them and announce them, and it's not a regular Aveda, because by doing so, it's more likely is what will happen is the guy will come back looking for his thing and it's not there. You're going to go announce it somewhere. He's never going to hear about it, so he's going to end up losing them. So the best thing is just don't touch them, leave them where they are. We're assuming somebody will come back for them. Matzah kliva ashba. Now, if you found the utensil in the dump, in the garbage, so imechusa, if it's covered up, okay, so lo yigabo, so you shouldn't touch it. In megula notel machris, if it's uncovered, so then you should take it and announce it. Meaning you found something that is, a utensil which has markings on it, but if it's covered up in the dump, so then the assumption is that somebody hid it there. If they hid it there, you're going to take it and announce it again, you're going to end up causing him to lose it. So therefore, you don't do that. However, if it's just open, so then he actually lost it. So then you have to take it and announce it. The Gemara makes clear that we're talking about here, when we're talking about ashbuk means like garbage. So if we're talking about like the actual dump, so that means nobody's going to come take it later and throw it in the garbage. I mean, if you found it in the garbage can on the street, so then at that point, you could just take that and announce it. You don't have to leave it there because it's clear it's going to get taken away. The guy didn't put it there to hide it there for, to be taken away to the garbage, and then he'll lose it for sure. So, then you would have to announce it. But if it's in what we're talking about here is if it's sort of in a permanent dump, it's going to stay there for forever. So if it's covered up, so it must be that he hid it there. Okay. Matzah bagal or bekosel yoshan hari shalo. Now, if you found something that was lost, and it's in an old, pile of stones or an old wall, so you can keep them because the assumption is that these are ancient, meaning you just found something that somebody hid way, way long time ago. It looks very old. It looks, if it's clear, it's new. So okay, so then we have to assume that the homeowner, somehow has a claim to it. But here we're finding something. Now Tosas asks the question, wait a second, why don't we say that the guy's property acquires it for him, like it's on his property? And the answer is basically that because it's, so old, he has no assumption that, he wasn't expecting to find this thing there. It wasn't supposed to be his. So therefore it still sort of remains in its status of hefker, even though it's on somebody's property. Very interesting. So that it belongs to the guy who finds it. However, matzah b'kosel chadash, you find it in a new wall, mechetzu v'lachutz shalo. If you find it from the wall going out to Rosh Hashanah, so then you can keep it because the assumption is somebody from the outside stuck it in there, and now it's lost and he's not coming back to get it and whatever. So then you can keep it. Mechetzu v'lifnim, but if it's from the inside, shal ba'al bayis, that belongs to the owner of the house. The assumption is that that's somehow that's that belongs. It's his inside house that belongs to him. However, if he rents it out to other people, so then even if you're inside the house And it's, I mean, again, if the homeowner says, hey, this is mine and I can show you it's mine, so that's something else. We're talking about here, nobody's saying it's theirs, it belongs, so if it's rented out to other people who have been inside the house, so they maybe hid it in this inside wall, so then even the guy now who finds it, who's not the homeowner, can claim it, and he's able to keep it.